Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the Anatomy of a Successful Dream College Application. I am your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon, and I could not be more proud of you for being here and taking time out of your day to really inform yourself and empower yourself and get your teen the gift of helping them through this journey and process. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen. I'll stop the video so we don't get distracted here. And let's just do it. Let's dive right in, right? So today I'm going to show you how your highly motivated teen can go from feeling confused and finding focus and clarity and stay miles ahead of their peers so that you can stop worrying about what they need to do and how to get it done. That's my mama. She championed my dreams, and I'm sure you're here also because you are championing your own teen's dreams. So there you go. Your role today is simple. Silence your phone and just give yourself some time to really get informed and get knowledgeable and empowered about the college admission process. You'll want pen and paper to take notes. I'm old school, so maybe you're just taking notes on your computer. But grab your beverage of choice because you are in for a treat. Now, this might sound like you. You're a parent with a high-achieving teen who will apply to college within the next 6 months. I mean, literally, you have a rising senior in your household right now. And are we all at home, right? Yes, they're in your household right now. Your college-bound teen is high-achieving, which means that they're involved in several organizations and they have at least one top-tier dream college on their list. For the sake of today, what I mean by that is a school that's selective, meaning they're admitting less than 50% of their applicant pool, or highly selective, admitting under 35% of their applicant pool. You might also be someone, not unlike myself, who applied to college over 20 years ago, and you're just looking for all the help you can get to help your child achieve their dreams. And yes, that is me with my English teacher back in the day. So think about it. Just, which one are you? And for many of you, I think you might be all of the above. So just know that I'm with you 1000%, and bravo to you for being here and really just, like I said, empowering yourself, because this process is no joke. And with everything going on in the world, there's lots to be aware of. So there's me and my mom back in the day. And basically what I want to share with you is this. There was never a time in my life that I did not think I was going to college or believe I was going to college. My mom is I'm first generation to college. She did not attend college, but she always used the word when you go to college. She never used the word if. She always used the word when. So when the time came, she knew my dream was to go to USC, and she had met Mr. Vargas, here pictured with the white beard. She'd met him a couple years before I became a senior, and she introduces herself to everyone she meets. And so she kept his business card because he worked at USC in the MAAA office, Mexican American Alumni Association. And he said, come see me when the time comes. And sure enough, my mom, in true form, held him to it. And there we went one day. She made an appointment, and we went, traveled north in the brown Oldsmobile north on the 110 freeway. And he made time for us. He shared with me what I needed to do, how to find an application, and how to apply, and he taught my mom what she needed to do to apply for financial aid. So really between the two of them were my champion and really helped me achieve my dreams. Now, once I was at USC, which was the goal, what was always the goal, I never thought I would continue on in any more schooling. But once I was at USC, I was surrounded by people who were very smart and ambitious and just had entrepreneurial spirit. I loved USC. But I also learned about getting a master's degree. So I went on and got my master's at Teachers College at Columbia University while working and doing my internship at Barnard College. And from Barnard, I got my first real job, as we say, at Vassar College. Here pictured is Vassar College. Now, at Vassar, that was the first time that I learned the term elite colleges or even like elite high schools, private high schools. I had never really known that that world existed, but I certainly started to understand that, you know, there's not an even playing field, and there are a lot of students out there getting a lot of help along the way, well before senior year, which is basically when I started to think about college. So it was a real eye-opener for me, my time at Vassar, and I just enjoyed being on the admission committee. I learned so much and traveled the country. Now, after leaving Vassar College from the admission office, I went to a private girls' school in Los Angeles. Now, we call this moving from the receiving end to the shipping end. I was the director of college counseling, and my job was to help ship the students off to college. So there we are at the book signing, lots of my former students. But the best thing that I took away from Marymount was understanding what thorough and expert college counseling looks like. I mean, we worked with the girls from start to finish, starting in their freshman year. We went into the classroom, gave them information they needed, did backwards mapping, planned out what kind of courses they needed, when they should visit colleges. We did everything with those girls because it was a private school, and that's what was expected. To just go back really quickly, this is me. I co-chaired my reunion weekend in 2019 with a friend. So we chaired our reunion weekend, and there we are at USC many years after graduation. But I remembered my mom saying when I was young, "Dime con quién andas y te digo quién eres." It just leads me to the quote, sort of in English, that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So when I think about that quote, I really say to parents, whatever your teen's dream college is, and again, it's different for every student, it's worth pursuing, because where you go to college defines not who you are, but who you aspire to become. That certainly was true for me and so many of my friends. So let's dive into today's lesson. We're going to talk about the role of the high school in terms of the college application. I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look as to how top tier colleges do the admission process. And we're also going to give you what you come here for, which is the anatomy of successful applicants. So I have 6 applicants to share with you. Super excited. Okay. So are you ready? All right. So we begin with this doozy. 90% of the college application happens before senior year. Yep, you guessed it. You're surprised? 8 semesters goes on the transcript for graduation, but it's 6 semesters of grades that go off to colleges. By the time your son or daughter is applying to college in late fall or early winter, they will have completed 6 semesters of grades. Now, obviously, those first semester grades count for many of the colleges they apply to, but not all. So just keep that in mind. Now, a word about grades and rigor of curriculum. The AQs, academic qualities, include grades, test scores, and the number of APs, honors, and IB courses. In this world of test optional, now more than ever, the grades and the rigor of curriculum will count a lot. And this year, if you can take the test and have good, solid test scores, I would say submit them. It's worth it because it's going to help. Now, the school profile, you need to know what this is. This is sent to colleges and it's attached with the transcript, and it provides the school context. So please Google the name of your high school with the words school profile and find yours. So for me, it would be Bellflower High School school profile when I was a student. The school profile offers information like the list of honors, the list of APs, the test averages, where students from your high school have been admitted or where they're off to college. So again, it provides the context in which we are to look at your teen's application. The third component from the high school are the letters of recommendation. There are counselor recommendations and teacher recommendations. You will, by and large, need both. Now, if you're in California applying to the University of California system, there are no recommendations required, nor are they accepted. But if you're using the common application or the coalition application, for sure you will need teacher letters of recommendation. Let's move on to the top tier college admission process, and I'll give you a glimpse into how we did it when I was at Vassar. I was trained with this one question in mind. Given your resources, how did you spend your time? So in other words, I was always looking and reading the applicant with the understanding of the context of where they are. We all come from different states, different parts of the country, different zip codes, different high schools. Every piece of that says what kind of resources are available to each student. So given the resources, how did you spend your time? What did you accomplish? What did you do? That's essentially what we as readers are trying to answer. So before committee, I had about 15 minutes to review each application. And I would take notes on the AQs, the academic qualities, and the PQs, the essays, etc. I would read all the school documents, recalculate the GPA on a 12-point scale, and read the letters of recommendation and, of course, the essays. In terms of leadership, I was looking, now I worked at Vassar, so we were considered a highly selective institution, and I think we were under 35% acceptance rate, and by now I'm sure it's under 20, I'm guessing. So we were looking for impact leadership versus just involvement. There's a difference between listing things on your resume and leaving an impact in your community, your school, your neighborhood, your state, things like that. At the end of the day, when the committee came up, so I had Florida, California, half of Texas, all of North and South Dakota, and Kansas and Minnesota. So let's say we were in Texas, and we're going to be doing Texas for several days. So once El Paso, Texas was one of my cities, and Isleta High School was one of the public schools there. So let's say I grabbed all of the files from Isleta High School, or from Minnesota, Minneapolis, it would be the Blake School, or Menlo Atherton in California, or one of the Palmer Trinity in Miami. We would look at you by school group. I would offer a 60-second or less, just a recap of the file in front of me. And then the committee members had an opportunity to ask me questions about the applicant. And then once we were ready to vote, we would vote. And each of us had like an index card, like a red, a yellow, and a green one. And the vote, we would just hold up our cards, which would mean a red for deny, a yellow for waitlist, and a green for admit. And in a committee, it was really just made up of 3 of us. And so 2 votes ruled the day. And that's how it went. It was that easy and quick. Oh, gosh. Now, hear me when I say that all top applicants have similar AQs. That's not what gets you admitted. It is your job to make sure that your PQs stand out. So I just want you to imagine that everyone applying to Vassar or HYPS, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Stanford, or Duke, or Northwestern, or USC, or any number of great schools like Tulane and places like that. Everyone in that pool is going to have similar high AQs. So that's not what's going to make you stand out. It's the PQs, which are revealed through the essays. So let's take a look at some applicants. Oh my gosh, I told you I have 6, right? I have 6 students to share with you. So let's take a look. Here's Jensen. And Jensen has strong AQs, but he also has equally strong PQs. So just take a look for a second. Okay. So you can see he's the editor, the newspaper editor. He was also the sports editor, feature editor. So there's strong leadership there. We love that. And then look at he has nearly a perfect transcript. Maybe I'm thinking 1 A- with that 397, but he's strong everywhere. Everywhere you look, he's strong. Here are the essays that he settled on, these topics, right? He's wanted to write about being a sports editor. He's also very savvy and intelligent, so he wanted to combine something, the critical theory course that he took, with something about a sports commercial. Now, it's important to know that Jensen really loves sports. He's a sports enthusiast, wants to grow up and become a sports announcer. So that was his coolness factor, what we call your coolness factor. And when Jensen first came to me, he'd come from another essay camp, and he had written on like community service or something pretty common. And I thought, that's not what Jensen's about. So this is a peek into one of his essays. So take a look. I love this because it is about him being a sports editor, but he uses a sports metaphor to really drive the story, which is just great and creative for Jensen, and perfect because that's his coolness factor, his real love for sports. Now, he's not trying to be a recruited athlete. He's not going to play soccer. He's not going to do any of that. He wants to be a sports announcer. The tip from Jensen is this: clarity comes from stillness. A clear and authentic essay always wins over common topics. I told you he originally came to me with an essay he had written in another camp. After 5 days of camp, he had one pretty good draft, but honestly, it was nothing that was going to help him shine. So I want you to understand the truth is there are thousands of essays that are written about community service, but tens of thousands. If it doesn't matter to you, it's not going to matter to your reader. So what's cool about you may not be cool to me, but that's what makes Jensen super cool. So it does often take an adult to help a teen, or just to say out loud to the teen, hey, go with your gut feeling. That thing that you love, yes, that's your coolness factor. Here's where Jensen was admitted to. He had lots of great options. I think he was minimally denied. I want to say he was denied like 1 or 2 places. He received lots of merit aid, and I really think that's because he really just sparkled and came to life on paper. Here's Andrea. She wants to major in economics and finance. She has strong AQs for sure, and look at that transcript. Not a single A- on her transcript. She got a 4.0 unweighted, and look at all of those honors and APs, including in the senior year. Now, the one thing I will say, again, take this all with a grain of salt. She has a 31 ACT, which is good and strong, but she wants to major in economics and finance. So I really wish that 34 and 35 was in, the math and science. I wish the numbers were flipped, okay? Or even better, I wish the numbers were all the same, all 34. But we look here and we can quickly see she's got strong leadership, Gold Award, Future Business Leaders, summer program, social media internship. She's got strong leadership there. So she had to really decide what she was going to write about. So she came up with this collection of essays. Something that I thought was kind of unique and different is really the fact that she was a cheerleader. Now, I might have been biased because I was a cheerleader too, but there's something about someone who's super smart, 4.0, that goes against the stereotype of a cheerleader. I'm definitely not saying that cheerleaders aren't smart. I certainly was in the top 10% of my class. I was like ranked number 16 or something. So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I thought this was cool, unique to her. She was applying to HYPS, one of those schools, early decision. So she says here, she talks about, I was an honor student, not a cheerleader. I was not high ponies and not a girly girl. And then she goes on and talks a little bit more about her cheer backpack, etc. So there was a little piece there in her essay that she was able to squeeze in her feelings about being unsure if she wanted to be known as being a cheerleader, which I thought was kind of cool. Here's what I love about Andrea is that she shot for the stars. And she knew that there was a great possibility that it wouldn't happen, but she needed a plan. So she was a multiple. She had a sibling, and they both made a real strong plan. The truth is this: there are over 30,000 public and private high schools, which means there's equal number of valedictorian and student body presidents. So yes, she's a Gold Award winner, so there's fewer of that. There's fewer state champions and national champions. But as long as you have a plan, I say go on and shoot for the stars, because you just sometimes might get there. And if landing on the moon is what happened, that's not too shabby either. But again, you do need a plan. Here's where she was admitted. And she really, again, I think she scored the lotto. She did really well in the process, and she earned some merit money as well, which we're really excited about. That made her parents very happy. Again, I mentioned she was a sibling, so you can imagine the cost moving forward. Oops. Here is David. David wanted to apply to business school, and David was very strong with his AQs. And David was one that should have come to essay camp, and he and his father, they just didn't get him signed up quick enough. And so the time went on, they, went on and did their business for summer. This is last summer, 2 summers ago, actually. And then we ended up working one-on-one together. So very quickly I could see that his PQs were good, but not stellar, not like Jensen for sure. So it was really about like, what are we going to do? How are we going to leverage this? What's the great combination of essays for David? Here's a peek as to one of his essays, which I continue to use as an example over and over. So just take a peek. So you had a job at McDonald's one summer, and but the owner sort of took an interest in him and sort of showed him different things about the business of McDonald's. So he really used that to tell a short but well done story to show his interest in business and what he had learned from working at McDonald's. So that was pretty great. Here's a tip. High testing will never hurt your case if, and I mean if, you can make a case with your essays, okay? So again, to be specific about COVID and all that's happening with test optional, my prediction is this is probably the last year that testing will be helpful, very helpful. So if you can get to a place where you can take the exam and you have strong test scores, I would say definitely submit them. It will help with admissions and will also help with the amount of scholarship dollars you receive. The truth is, David had to write over 20 essays, and we spent more than 30 hours one-on-one getting to those 20 essays. And had he taken the essay camp, we would have built the 4 foundational essays together in a very short amount of time, and then he would be able to retool and repurpose those over and over again. Instead, we definitely did the same process, but we did it one-on-one. So really helps to save time and be efficient with your time if you can get it done sooner rather than later. Here's where he was admitted. And again, many of these were for the business school, so he was really specific and had to do his homework on the business programs at each of these schools. He was not admitted to HYPS. He did apply to one of those, early decision. Again, HYPS stands for Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Stanford. Jillian, here she is, pre-law and agriculture. She has strong AQs. She's got really solid PQs for sure. It's not clear her leadership. She's definitely involved and definitely heavily involved in things at her school, but the leadership is not necessarily perfectly clear, okay? And look at that nice senior year curriculum. That's really great. So good for her. Good all around. But she needed to really put together, like, what is the picture that I'm trying to paint for the reader? How am I going to leverage my strengths and what I've accomplished and show that I am a leader, I'm a doer, I'm an achiever, all those things that help to understand how you're going to contribute to the college campus. Here's a peek at one of her essays. Jillian happened to be a really strong writer, so it didn't take her long to sort of come up with these really pretty good drafts, and then we just had to hone them. This is actually, I think 3 of her 4 were some of my favorites. So she did a really good job of connecting. Remember, her interests are pre-law and agriculture. And she has this passion about food and food deserts, and she did this great presentation to an elementary school. A tip from Jillian is that leadership doesn't always come in a title. The truth is, most students do not have the title of president, captain, editor-in-chief, state or national champion, but every teenager does demonstrate leadership in some way. But a lack of clarity in how to uncover that leadership or how to reveal it or even identify it can leave any teenager feeling stuck. So she was one that was like a little bit like, well, I'm not sure that I have enough to say. And I said, you definitely do. We just have to keep figuring out what those topics are. Here's where she was admitted. Lots of great places. I mean, gosh, who wouldn't want to have those options? And she did receive some merit aid, not a ton, but some. Here's Warren. Yes, Warren is one that will kind of make you weepy. So Warren is pretty much perfect in almost every category possible. Look at these strong AQs and strong PQs. I mean, because he checks all the boxes. Not a single A- on his transcript, a 4.6 GPA, Look at the senior year. Holy smokes, 5 APs. And then on top of that, he's also a state champion from his volleyball team at school. And he's also in the national volleyball team with the top 10. So, I mean, look at this. Boeing internship. He works in the summer. He's a student ambassador. I mean, my goodness. Now, the mom really knew that she was very savvy. And she found me and knew that for all the accolades that Warren had, she knew that he really needed to find his voice, find his story. And that's why she found me. And so after camp, this is what he settled on. And this is a peek into one of his essays. This one was my favorite of the 4. Why? Because it has this dialogue, it has this banter with his father. It gives a sense of his personality, and lots of things are revealed in this essay. It's not one-dimensional, this essay. So I thought it was pretty great. My tip from Warren is this: star athletes fly, scholar athletes diversify. So you want to really think, if you're an athlete or if you're a parent of one, even the best athletes with the accolades, coming out the wazoo, they may not be recruited athletes, or that may not be their path. They just may not want to. I think in Warren's case, I just don't think that he wanted to continue. So it's best to plan ahead for a full and compelling application on and off the court. So your team might be feeling confused, like, what am I going to say? How am I going to convey this? Like, I have these accomplishments, but now what? What else can I do or say about myself? That comes with time and focus. Here's where he was admitted, and look at that merit award. I mean, really, he really did it. Now, I will admit, and mostly because I'm mad about it, he did apply to one of the HYPS schools and was denied. He did not get admitted, and I'm still hurt about it. I don't know why I'm hurt, but I'm mad about it. Here's Sandra. She wants to major in entrepreneurship, and she's got strong AQs, not a single A- on her transcript. Look at the senior year curriculum, strong curriculum all the way through. And then when I see, or when I'm looking for, in terms of her leadership on campus, I don't see a lot. I see this co-founder, Women in Business, but that's about it. So I was like, what's going to happen here? She was a dancer for 13 years. She was continuing it at school, so that was another piece. But she has all this other leading in terms of, like, I want to do entrepreneurship. I can see it. So she did a summer program in entrepreneurship. She's had a summer internship. She works the family business. So I can start to connect the dots a bit, and I got it. But she also was very interesting just personally. There was so much richness for Sandra to incorporate. So it just took time. Here's one of my favorite essays from last year. It's hers. And so she writes this essay about the four different types of cheeses. And I'll just read to you a bit, the second paragraph. Each goat cheese variety comes from the same origin, yet their distinct life stories create different characters and qualities. I thought about this, standing in the market with a father who lives in London, grandparents who live in France, cousins from Morocco, and an Ecuadorian American mother at home in the United States, waiting for my return, reflecting on the far-reaching origins of my own blood. Pretty cool, right? My tip from Sandra is this: it's better to be sincere rather than sad or sappy. Many families think that you need a sad story to get noticed. That's simply not true. Finding a way to creatively weave your personal background helps to stay away from common topics that will ultimately fall flat in the college admission process. A student like Sandra had plenty of choices of what to write about. Her mom just knew that she, A, needed to weave that story in, and B, she knew she needed to not procrastinate. So she knew her daughter better than her daughter knew herself. And so for those reasons, the mom really decided to utilize us. Here's where she was admitted, and look at this merit aid. Wowza. I really feel like Sandra really scored the lotto, and I'm not going to say for sure that it has to do with that essay, but that essay is literally one of my favorites of all time. So it really made her sparkle and shine. Here's a parent here. she had two children going through the process at the same time. One who had graduated and was going through the process again, and one who was a senior in high school. So a son and a daughter, and she says they nailed their essays and got it done in time with time to spare and were accepted to their top choice schools. I love that she's one that has said to me, she's like, you were firm but gentle, and I love that too. Please know that each of the applicants I just showed you, as fabulous as they are, they lacked some clarity and focus at some point, but they had the confidence to ask for help. They were each one of them were denied at least one place. Most of them were denied at multiple places, but they had a plan that earned their yes. So I say, bravo. I love a teenager who's courageous enough to say, I want to go after my dreams, and applies. And they know that they have one chance to get it right. One chance. So bravo for them, but bravo for them saying, I need help. Here are some common mistakes. Underestimating the long game. This takes some time. This is not a short-term goal. Focusing only on academic qualities and not personal qualities, which are now more important than ever with the changes that we're seeing in college admissions. Number 3, treating the essay like it's an English paper. I cannot tell you how often I say to students in our essay camps, you do not write a topic sentence. That's not the purpose of this essay. It's different. So clarity and focus comes only with time. Number 4, assuming that the stellar record will prevail. I love Warren's mom because she understood very clearly that there are thousands, tens of thousands of kids that look like Warren. Hard to believe, I know, and hard for, I think, any parent to admit, because obviously she thinks Warren is amazing. I think Warren is amazing. But she was also very realistic in knowing that it wasn't going to be just based on his fabulous, stellar record. And number 5, biggest mistake is believing that this is an even playing field. I started out this webinar by saying to you, when I worked at Marymount, the private elite girls' school in Los Angeles, I realized what expert quality college guidance looks like. And it does not look the same at every school. And even those that have a good college counseling system, there are still, we even felt there was plenty of room for us to do better. So asking for help means simply significantly increasing your teen's chances of being admitted to one of these colleges that will change the trajectory of their life. Number 2, it will instantly boost their confidence, and yours too, for sure. Number 3, realizing that they're way more interesting than they ever thought they were. Number 4, it will decrease stress for everyone in the household. Everyone in the household. And number 5, it will make you the parent of the year. They may not thank you right now, but believe me, they will thank you when they're done. Okay, good grades and a good resume will get nearly every teenager into a good college. But that's not why you're here. Your family has bigger dreams than that, and so it's worth it. The average acceptance rate to college is over 60%. The question is not if your child will get into college. The question is, where are they going to get into college? So you have a dream, but a dream without a plan is just a wish. Here are some campers from last year and their results. And they have reported over $5.5 million in earnings. Here's a little bit of where they're attending next year and where they were all admitted. So you can see on these 2 slides, we work with quite a range of students for sure, not just those that are applying to, top schools, but a range. Okay. So my question to you is, would you like me to teach your teen how to create interesting, engaging, and compelling college essays? And if you're thinking, heck yeah, I do, well, I'm so glad, because the truth is your teenagers are going to go through this process only once. So you have 2 options. You can definitely do this the old school way and figure it out on your own. And my mom did. She certainly figured it out. And there we drove up the 110 freeway, the brown Oldsmobile, and we figured it out. You can also have option 2, which is this. You and your team commit to creating the best darn essays using a team-proofed, battle-tested winning formula. Now, when I say you and your team, I mean the two of you commit together, and obviously the team produces these essays with our help. Through the College Essay Bootcamp, that's what I would like to invite you to. Really consider what a College Essay Bootcamp can do to change the trajectory of this process. College Essay Bootcamp offers a step-by-step formula for all college-bound teams to write their unique stories that go from good to wow, allowing your team's college essays to stand out among thousands and avoid lackluster common topics. What are the benefits? The benefits are there's a start and an end date, so we don't have to drag this out for months. There's no homework, there's personalized feedback. Each person is assigned a personal college essay coach. They complete 4 to 8 essays and complete the UC and or the common application. We're also live streamed via Zoom. You can join us from anywhere you are in the country. We have interactive engagement, I promise you that. And we have breakout rooms with the coaches, and there is one-on-one time with a private counselor regarding the resume section of the application. So I would say that we started Zooming last year's camp, before Zooming was cool. So we have really been doing and honing and perfecting our teaching skills and methods using the Zoom call. We've been Zooming before Zooming was a verb. So there you go. Now, I believe with all my heart that every teenager deserves a personal essay coach for the most important piece of writing they will write to date. So just want you to keep in mind, this is it. What they're writing right now for college essays, or probably not writing quite yet, this is going to be the most important piece of writing. So they deserve a personal coach. The bottom line is the goal is less stress, more yes, maximize choices. Okay, here's a graduation photo of our first campers from this 2020 season. There they are, most of them, it's not all of them, most of them from Camp 1, Cohort 1. And while I'm recording this, I'm in the middle of Camp 2, and day 3 is so amazing. Are you ready to get it done? Are you ready to get it done? If you are, if you said yes, then join the hundreds of graduates and get it done with College Essay Bootcamp. These students are not superhuman. They're not legendary athletes. They are not curing cancer. They simply created a plan, found their story, and used my formula to make themselves stand out among thousands. So if they can do it, so can you. Here's another parent. I love this one. As a full-time working single parent of twins, the college app process loomed large, despite the excellent counseling at my kids' school. Enter essay camp. Shockingly, my twins wanted to go, and off they went. So she goes on and says, I highly recommend essay camp. It made my life easier. My kids' apps, a total of 24, were out the door by mid-October, all early. And it made for a very calm holiday season, especially acceptances started rolling in before Thanksgiving. Love that. So we have 4 camps left, and we'll be closing soon, July 13th through the 17th and July 20th through the 25th. There are fewer spaces available in July 20th. Now, all July essay camps will close on Wednesday, July 8th. So be clear about that, Wednesday, July 8th. There are also August camps for August 3rd, the week of August 3rd, and the week of August 10th. Okay, there are 15 spaces still left in each of those camps. So I just want you to know that the August camps will close by July 29th. Okay, but again, with just limited space, I wouldn't wait to the end to reserve your spot. Yes, so your invitation is to join the hundreds of graduates and get it done. I am not joking. There is a money-back guarantee that you should know about. If you show me the work that your team did and you're still not satisfied, I will gladly give you a refund. So I say 30-day money-back guarantee, but really you won't even need that. They'll take the class and you'll know right away. Okay, in all my years of doing this, and I started the essay camp, gosh, it's been probably 17 years. We've probably had about 8 seasons of essay camp, not one refund. So there you go. What's the investment, Dr. C? Tell me. Well, if you were to do this with me one-on-one together, the value is $9,000, but your price is $1,479. Why? Because my mission is to help as many families as possible, because my mama did it and made a sacrifice, and I believe that I can be the champion like Mr. Vargas was for me, for many, many others. So that's why. I want you to get started today. Join us. We have a lot of fun too. You're going to go to this website, https, and then a little colon / and it's colleges.drcynthiacolon.com/essay camp. Now I say https because you definitely need to have that in the front end of your link. So there you go. Again, here's the web address. Just use that. colleges.drcynthiacolon.com/essay camp. Now, just to be clear, College Essay Bootcamp is perfect for teens who A, have big dreams, B, are ready to leverage their strengths, C, want the coaching they deserve, and D, they are ready to get it done. Here's another mom. She has a homeschooled son who was like involved in everything, had a part-time job, was in robotics. He was applying to, so many colleges, and she was just feeling overwhelmed. She didn't know how to help him. So she says, he really learned the technique. Once he finally understood the technique and what we teach in class, he then started applying to that same technique to scholarship essays. So, wowza. So what happens next? You go to the website and you say, yes, I'm ready. So you go and you say, yes, I want to join essay camp. Enter your payment information. You'll get an order form and then a confirmation page. And that will wrap up, and that is all wrapped up in a nice bow with a confirmation page. And then I'll be in touch with you shortly after as well. What's next for parents? So parents, whether essay camp is for your teen or not, I certainly hope that I have given you enough valuable information, and you know that I always deliver. So join us in the parent Facebook group at Destination U University, YOU, or you can listen to the podcast. The weekly national podcast continues now, and you can find it, and there's lots of great information there, certainly. Here's the website again, one more time. So, class of 2021. Woo! Da-da-da. Are you ready for essay camp? I certainly hope so. This is another parent. She's from out of state, and she found me, and her son was one of the first that was Zooming, right? Before Zooming was cool. So last year we had 9 different states represented last summer. It's hard to believe that we were Zooming in 2019, but it's true, we were. Okay, so to wrap this up, I certainly hope that to see your teen in class, because we have so much fun, and it's my favorite time of year. And I just love seeing the progress and how they come to life on paper. So if you have specific questions, you can certainly email me. The email here is on screen, destinationuniversity@gmail.com. You can also, of course, go to my website, and you will be able to find the link for the consultation if you'd like to reserve a phone chat. Not to worry. My goodness, I love this time of year, and I certainly hope to have you in camp, your teenager in camp. Here's it one more time. Again, the value is $9,000. What are they going to leave with? 4 to 8 essays complete, ready to hit send, and the completion of their UC or their Common App application. Okay. Now, I'm going to just kind of come back to you so I can see you. I much prefer seeing your faces. So I want to thank you for sticking with me and taking time out of your day. Your time is valuable. I hope I've given you some value. I hope I've inspired you to do something fantastic in the next 24 hours that helps to move you closer. Your teen's dreams. It helps you and your teen move closer to achieving their dreams. I hope I did that for you. Okay? So hope to see you in Essay Bootcamp. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a happy and sunny day. Bye for now.